Hello, my name is Yazi. You are on the Tech Recruiter channel, where I talk about recruitment and sourcing tricks. Today we will discuss the top 9 mistakes that the beginner tech recruiters often make. Did you know that on average it takes about 42 days to fill a vacancy? For a beginner recruiter, such a task can be very extremely complex. If you want to avoid common mistakes and fill vacancies, continue to watch this video. One of the most popular mistakes of beginner IT recruiters is thinking that we need to learn how to code. Why do recruiters need to code? Our task is to find great developers, not to become developers ourselves. So let's get rid of this conception and focus on being good recruiters and finding good candidates. You don't need to know a programming language for that. To better understand the tech industry, begin with resources for junior developers that introduce them the basics of the IT industry, of the IT languages. And here comes the second common mistake. Jumping into the search fastly after receiving a job description without even any questions asking from the hiring manager. This is a crucial step in the recruitment process. When you have the bigger picture of the vacancy, it becomes easier to source and to hire the best candidates. Now let's talk about another mistake that can cost you valuable candidates. It's failing to handle their objections. You may come across a potential candidate who initially shows disinterest in the vacancy, and instead of addressing their concerns, you simply move on to the next search. But here's the thing. You shouldn't make that mistake. It's crucial to take the time to understand their objections and to clarify their doubts or reservations they may have and find out what kind of opportunities would be interesting for them in the future, maybe not at the moment. Don't be afraid to engage in a conversation with the candidate and handle their objections head on and see if there is a way to overcome their concerns. At least they might even recommend someone suitable for that role that you're having right now. It's also a great resource for the sourcing strategy. Moving on to the next mistake. Losing control of the interview process. This is a situation where you find yourself answering all the candidates' questions but failing to learn enough about them actually. Remember, an interview should never feel like interrogation, asking a lot of questions only from one side. It should look like a genuine conversation with the candidate. Of course, to avoid this mistake, it's crucial to have a well-structured interview plan in place that you will handle on the conversation. Ask relevant questions that help you understand the candidate's skills, the experience that they have, and cultural fit. Actively listen to their responses and be prepared to guide the interview in a direction that allows you to assess them. The fifth mistake is passively waiting for the candidates to come to you, for the applicants. The tech market is quite competitive, so simply posting the jobs waiting for applicants won't cut it. You need to proactively attract candidates through various channels. Use, for example, social networks, engage with professional communities, and explore alternative sourcing methods. If you're looking to enhance your sourcing skills and learn how to find candidates beyond traditional job boards, I encourage you to subscribe for my advanced sourcing course. Let's dive into the next mistake, a chaotic candidate search. This happens when you have no specific sourcing strategy, and your search is random. For instance, you come across to new resource like GitHub and decide to source there because you like it and because it's new. However, if you're looking for an analyst, for example, you'll find that there aren't many specialists of that kind on GitHub. While it's a good opportunity to practice your sourcing skills, it won't be the most effective way to fill the vacancy and to use your time. Having a solid search strategy in place helps you target the right resources. Without a strategy, you can easily get lost in the sea of the information and end up wasting time and resources in the wrong direction. Now let's discuss the seventh mistake often made by beginner tech recruiters, being afraid to call. Phone calls can be a bit controversial. Some people enjoy talking on the phone, while others avoid any phone calls, answering calls from anyone from unknown numbers. That's me actually. I also avoid sometimes unknown numbers. However, there are situations where you need to urgently discuss something with a candidate. Please don't hesitate to make that call if the person has provided their phone number as a means of communication. It's always better to send a message first or ask for permission to call or actually to fix a call by the time than holding back on the phone calls. Moving on to the next mistake, conducting interviews without proper preparation. This approach not only extends the interview time, but also leads to questions that are already answered in the candidate's CV. Actually, the well-prepared interview can take us a lot of time. Focus you on the right actions to make. Take the time to actually study the candidate's CV and prepare questions that are relevant to the vacancy's requirements, and get familiar yourself with their project and experience that we already had in the past. Adequate preparation allows more effective interviews and saves time in the long run. And finally, let's talk about avoiding vacancies out of fear of not filling them. Recruiters sometimes come across situations where they can't fill a vacancy within some period of time, within the deadline that was fixed by the hiring manager. And this is it's normal. Don't take away the challenge of a new job position. And like this, you will continue to grow in the IT recruitment field. These were some common mistakes that me and my students at Tech Recruiter Academy faced some time ago. Share in the comments any mistakes you've made in your own work. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more recruitment tricks and sourcing insights.